In the bustling streets of Abuja, Nigeria, lived a young woman named Adaobi. A beautiful, intelligent young woman from a wealthy Nigerian family. She is deeply in love with Tunde and she is willing to do anything to keep him happy, even if it means betraying her own family. She was the epitome of grace and elegance, adorned with the virtues of her well-to-do family. Yet, beneath her poised exterior, beat a heart consumed by love for a man named Tunde. Tunde, a handsome and charming guy. He is Adaobi's love interest. Tunde was Adaobi's world. He is ambitious and dreams of a better life abroad. They had been inseparable since their teenage years, and their love seemed unbreakable. Adaobi would move mountains for Tunde, for he held the key to her heart. But little did she know, Tunde's desires would lead her down a path of darkness. Tunde leverages Adaobi's love for him to guilt-trip her into compliance. He manipulates her emotions, convincing her that her refusal would mean the end of their relationship and any hope for a future together. Adaobi, desperate to keep him by her side, reluctantly agrees to his demands. Tunde's ambitions, however, began to overshadow their love. He whispered sweet nothings into Adaobi's ear, promising a future together in a faraway land where he would establish himself and bring her over. Blinded by love and longing, Adaobi succumbed to his manipulative pleas. As the years passed, Adaobi found herself pregnant with Tunde's child multiple times. Each time, he would coax her into aborting the pregnancy, citing reasons for their young age and lack of stability. Blinded by love, Adaobi complied, sacrificing happiness for the man she adored. Tunde begins by charming Adaobi with sweet words and promises of a bright future together. He capitalizes on her love for him, subtly planting the idea that their relationship hinges on her ability to fulfill his desires. Over time, Tunde subtly hints at his aspirations to travel abroad and establish himself. He plays on Adaobi's desire to support him, painting a picture of a future where they can be together in prosperity. Eventually, he directly asks Adaobi to steal money from her father's business, citing it as the only way to make their dreams a reality. Tunde isolates Adaobi from her family and friends, ensuring that she has no one to turn to for guidance or support. He becomes her sole confidant, exploiting her vulnerability and dependence on him to further his agenda without fear of interference. After obtaining the money from Adaobi, Tunde carelessly disappears from her life without a trace. He blocks her calls and ignores her messages, leaving her stranded in a web of lies and deceit. Despite her desperate attempts to reach him, he remains steadfast in his silence, abandoning her to face the consequences alone. Adaobi's father, a respected businessman in the community, Adaobi's father is hardworking and dedicated to his family. He trusts Adaobi implicitly on business matters. With a heavy heart, she stole a staggering 10 million naira from her father's business, believing it was the key to unlocking their dreams. However, her father, who had borrowed heavily from the bank to expand his business, was devastated by the loss. Unbeknownst to Adaobi, her father had borrowed a significant amount of money from the bank to sustain his business. When auditors unearthed the missing funds, suspicion fell upon him. Despite his protest of innocence, he was sentenced to prison, his reputation tarnished, and his spirit broken. Adaobi's family, once her pillars of strength, now turned their backs on her. They used to be very supportive and loving, but they were also deeply hurt and angry when they learned of Adaobi's actions. They struggled to understand how their daughter could betray them in such a way. Disowned and abandoned, she bore the weight of her guilt alone, haunted by the repercussions of her actions. Meanwhile, Tunde vanished without a trace, leaving Adaobi to face the consequences of their betrayal alone. Despite her attempts to reach out to him, he remained elusive, his promises of a shared future nothing but empty words. Years drifted by, and Tunde resurfaced, seeking forgiveness for his past transgressions. But for Adaobi, forgiveness was a distant dream, overshadowed by the pain and anguish he had inflicted upon her and her family. As she looked into his eyes, the memories of her father's suffering, her family's scorn, and her shattered dreams came flooding back. With tears streaming down her face, she uttered words that echoed her resolve. "I cannot forgive you, for the wounds you've inflicted run too deep. You abandoned me in my darkest hour, leaving me to bear the burden of our sins alone. Go, and may your conscience be your only companion." And with that, Adaobi turned her back on the man who had once been her everything, choosing to rebuild her life from the ashes of betrayal. For in the depth of her pain, she found the strength to rise anew, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of heartbreak and betrayal. As the years passed, Adaobi found solace in her solitude. She threw herself into her work, determined to carve out a path for herself independent of the shadows of her past. Despite the whispers and judgmental stares that followed her every move, she remained steadfast in her resolve to redeem herself. With each passing day, Adaobi's wounds began to heal, albeit slowly. She rekindled her relationship with her family, seeking forgiveness for her past mistakes and striving to make amends for the pain she had caused. Though the scars of their betrayal lingered, they found it in their hearts to forgive her, recognizing the sincerity of her remorse. Yet, despite her efforts to move forward, Adaobi could not shake the specter of Tunde from her mind. His absence loomed over her like a dark cloud, a constant reminder of the love she had lost and the betrayal she had endured. And as she watched him from afar, living his life without a care in the world, she couldn't help but wonder if he ever truly understood the magnitude of his actions. Years turned into decades, and Adaobi's life took on a new rhythm. She found joy in the simple pleasures of everyday life, surrounded by loved ones who had stood by her through the darkest of times. And though the memory of Tunde still lingered, it no longer held the power to define her. Then, one fateful day, Tunde returned, his once confident demeanor now tinged with regret and remorse. He sought Adaobi out, desperate to make amends for the pain he had caused her. But as she looked into his eyes, she saw not the man she once loved, but a stranger haunted by the ghost of his past. Haunted by guilt and remorse, Adaobi reached out to Tunde countless times, but her messages and calls were met with silence. The man she had sacrificed everything for had abandoned her without a second thought. As fate would have it, Tunde's marriage faltered, and he found himself alone and desperate. He returned to Nigeria, seeking forgiveness from the woman he had wronged. When Adaobi saw him, memories of their past love and the devastation he had caused came flooding back. In a torrent of tears, she refused his plea for reconciliation. The pain and betrayal she had endured were too deep to forgive. Tunde, humbled by her unwavering strength, left with a heavy heart, realizing the true extent of his actions. For Adaobi, forgiveness was not a gift to be bestowed lightly. It was earned through actions, not words, and Tunde had yet to prove himself worthy of her grace. And so, with a heavy heart and tears in her eyes, she uttered the words that had been weighing on her soul for so long. "I cannot forget the pain you've caused me, nor can I erase the scars you've left behind. You chose to abandon me when I needed you most, and for that, I cannot forgive you. But I wish you peace on your journey, wherever it may lead you." And with that, Adaobi turned away from Tunde for the final time, leaving behind the shadows of her past and stepping into the light of a new dawn. For in her heart, she knew that true forgiveness lay not in forgetting, but in letting go of the burdens that weighed her down, freeing her to embrace the future with open arms. As Adaobi continued on her journey of self-discovery, she found herself drawn to the stories of other women who had faced similar trials and tribulations. Through their shared experiences, she discovered a newfound sense of strength and resilience, realizing that she was not alone in her struggles. Empowered by this newfound sisterhood, Adaobi dedicated herself to helping other women reclaim their voices and their power. She became an advocate for victims of betrayal and abuse, speaking out against the injustices that had once silenced her cries for help. Her efforts did not go unnoticed, and soon Adaobi found herself at the forefront of a movement for change. Through her tireless advocacy and unwavering determination, she helped enact laws to protect the rights of women and hold perpetrators of violence and betrayal accountable for their actions. But amidst the chaos of her crusade for justice, Adaobi never forgot the lessons she had learned from her own experiences. She remained vigilant in guarding her heart, wary of those who sought to exploit her kindness for their selfish gain. And so, as the years passed and the wounds of her past slowly healed, Adaobi emerged stronger and more resilient than ever before. She had weathered the storm of betrayal and emerged on the other side, a beacon of hope for those who still struggled to find their way. As for Tunde, his attempt at redemption fell on deaf ears. Though Adaobi wished him well on his journey, she knew that true forgiveness could only come from within. And as she watched him fade into the distance, she realized that she had already forgiven him, not for his sake, but for her own. Adaobi had come to understand that forgiveness was not about absolving others of their sins, but about freeing herself from the shackles of resentment and anger. And in letting go of the past, she found the strength to embrace the future with open arms, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with grace and dignity. And so, as the sun set on another day in Abuja, Adaobi stood tall and proud, a testament to the power of love, resilience, and forgiveness in the face of adversity. For she had learned that true happiness lies not in the absence of pain, but in the courage to rise above it, and in the knowledge that no matter how dark the night may seem, the dawn will always break anew. As Adaobi delved deeper into her advocacy work, she encountered countless stories of resilience and strength from women who had overcome similar trials. Their tales fueled her determination to make a difference, driving her to fight tirelessly for justice and equality. Through her efforts, Adaobi became a beacon of hope for those who had been silenced by fear and oppression. She worked tirelessly to provide support and resources to survivors of betrayal and abuse, helping them reclaim their voices and rebuild their lives. But even as she dedicated herself to helping others, Adaobi found herself grappling with her demons. The wounds of her past still lingered, casting a shadow over her newfound purpose. Despite her best efforts to move forward, the pain of Tunde's betrayal continued to haunt her, a constant reminder of the love she had lost. In moments of doubt and despair, Adaobi sought solace in the arms of her loved ones. They stood by her side, offering comfort and strength as she navigated the rocky terrain of healing and forgiveness. And though the road ahead was fraught with challenges, Adaobi refused to let her past define her future. As time passed, Adaobi's advocacy work gained momentum, drawing attention from both local and international communities. She became a voice for the voiceless, speaking out against the injustices that had once silenced her cries for help. But amidst the accolades and recognition, Adaobi remained humble, never forgetting the struggles that had shaped her journey. She knew that true healing could only come from within, and so she continued to confront her pain head-on, refusing to let it consume her. And then, one day, Tunde reappeared, seeking forgiveness for the pain he had caused. His words were sincere, his remorse palpable, but Adaobi knew that forgiveness was not something that could be granted lightly. With a heavy heart, she listened to his pleas, her mind awash with memories of their shared past. She saw the hurt and regret etched into his face, and for a fleeting moment, she felt a pang of sympathy. But as she looked into his eyes, Adaobi saw something else, a glimmer of hope, a flicker of redemption. And in that moment, she knew that forgiveness was possible, not for his sake, but for hers. With a deep breath, Adaobi extended her hand, offering Tunde a chance at redemption. And as they embraced, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders, a sense of peace washing over her like a gentle breeze. For in that moment, Adaobi realized that true forgiveness was not about forgetting the past, but about finding the strength to let go of the pain and embrace the possibilities of the future. And as she walked hand in hand with Tunde into the sunset, she knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, united by love, resilience, and forgiveness. Lessons learned. 1. The allure of love can blind us to the true intentions of others. 2. Trust is a precious gift that should not be given lightly. 3. The consequences of our actions can reverberate far beyond our immediate circle. 4. Forgiveness is not always easy, and sometimes it is necessary to protect our own well-being. 5. True love is not transactional, it prioritizes the happiness and well-being of both partners. Join us in spreading awareness about the powerful lessons. Subscribe to my channel to stay updated on more inspiring stories like hers. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. We'd love to hear how Adaobi's story resonated with you. Like and share this story with your friends and family to spark meaningful conversations and inspire positive change. Together, let's amplify Adaobi's voice and empower others to prioritize integrity, resilience, and self-love in their own lives.